Well. Welcome once again to Tee Vee. I'm Karen Reeves, Topping the Accountability Coach, welcoming you to another episode. This week, we've got someone in that I think will probably be really helpful for those in the UK who are at the moment searching for your next opportunity. But before we get to introduce them, let me tell you a little bit about Tee Vee. Tee Vee is a project of Key Inspirations, of which I am the founder and the CEO. And Key Inspirations is designed to assist small businesses with achieving their goals and targets, which they are finding hard to keep. So if you are having difficulty with maintaining the targets or the goals, or doing the tasks that you know you should be doing, but for some reason you keep putting them off, get in touch with me on keyinspirations@gmail.com. I'm an accountability coach, and I will nudge you all the way to your success. Tee Vee, a project of Key Inspirations, is here for small and medium-sized enterprises to showcase your business, your project, your charity, or maybe you have a franchise opportunity that you'd like to let people know about. So if you have any of the above and you want the rest of the world or a different circle to know what it is that you're doing, get in touch with me and let's book you a slot on the show. I am here to help you. So this week, we're back in the UK. Finally, I've spent a lot of time on the shores of Barbados, soaking in the sunshine and listening and talking to some of the small business enterprise owners over there. And we're back in the UK now to showcase a young lady who a couple of years ago decided, what is it that I have in my hand? And maybe I can put it to better use. And so, ladies and gentlemen, I am very pleased to introduce to you the founder of the Resourceful Human, Miss Cyreta James.
Hello.
Hi, Cyreta.
Hello. Glad to be here.
Well, we're happy to have you. You're so welcome to be here. I just knew that I had to get you on. Your passion.
Have me on. Love it.
Your passion for, as I listened to some of the things that you were talking about and reading some of the things that, as you wrote about your business, your passion just spills over into what you write and what you say. And so before we go any further, let's hear who's Cyreta and what's she all about.
Oh, where can I start from? So, yes, I am Cyreta. I always have to remember my name sometimes. I am a 13-year-old originally from London. I'm obviously of Caribbean heritage. My mother's Grenadian. My father is of Jamaican heritage. He's first generation British. Born and raised in Hackney, East London, still in East London, but just moved a bit further out to Walthamstow. I have a long journey that I've made in HR, from the humble starting of a voluntary HR assistant, worked my way up from HR assistant, HR officer, HR business partner, HR L&D specialist, and now HR executive, and now HR manager. Via the UAE. So I've been in and out of the country, just came back about 2 years ago. So, still going strong. But yes, as you said, I decided to take that step out. I started during COVID, which I think a lot of people are doing. They're starting to open their own businesses, understand that they need to think about additional streams of income because, again, Corona has made people realize that nothing lasts forever. The job that they thought they'll have for years and years and years has, for some people, has disappeared, particularly in hospitality and in retail.
Yeah.
So, it's been a wake-up call for everybody. I've been one of the lucky ones to still be in a job. I work for the National Gallery as a HR manager. But again, I felt that, it's about time to up my game. I've always been told, go out, start your own business. I've been told this for years. And probably confidence of the unknown, but there's no time, there's no better time than the present. So
That's right. Absolutely right. No better time than the present. You
no
couldn't have
better
said it
time.
any better. I'm of the firm belief that, with every challenge comes an opportunity, and you just
Absolutely.
need to change your perspective sometimes in order to see the opportunity that comes in the midst of the challenge. And
Yes.
it once you can see that, then it makes you a stronger person because you are able to work through the challenge. You
Mhm.
become, a bit more experienced. You become a little bit wiser, and then you become a resource person for people who maybe haven't gotten to that stage just yet. So it
Yes.
makes sense that in the midst of all of this that's happening, that people, take that step back, have a look around, and
Mhm.
and begin to rethink things, begin to reshape things. But
Yes.
there are those people that cannot, because not everyone was actually built to be self-employed or to own or manage a business. And
Yeah.
so there are those people that need to look for another opportunity.
Yeah.
Tell us how you can help those people.
I'll just give you a bit of best thing is for me to give you a bit of background into the Resourceful Human.
Okay.
It's my brainchild, it's my baby. It's still like 7 months old. And there's two strands. At the moment, I'm developing the CV and LinkedIn profile aspect of it. So that's mainly for individuals and people who do have, and companies who do want a bit more of a LinkedIn presence, because you can, as a business, set up a LinkedIn page so people know your company and what you do. And that's something that not a lot of people know. The
I
other,
certainly didn't.
we could talk later about that. The other strand that I'm sort of slowly developing, a bit slower at the moment, is the HR consultancy aspect, where I want to support small and medium-sized businesses to really kind of start to put the aspect on the HR function, which, to be honest, some people don't realize how important that is to a company's success. As you probably seen from my Instagram pages, I put all these little sort of infographics about 5 reasons why. That's why it's with 5 reasons why, or 5 top tips. And I did one about why HR is important to the success of the growth of a business. And I think people have to understand why. And I think it's also about making sure your people, if there are people, motivated, there is structure, there is support, there is a compliance, there is just there's a people aspect. Any business, your business runs on people. If your people aren't happy, then the longevity of your business is kind of going to be called into question. So one of the projects that I'm doing now is I'm working with a lady who's in a construction company. He wants to start looking at contractors, and that's something we're trying out to do with freelancers. I work with independent contractors in my main job. So we're looking at HR systems, how to put data for contractors, how to contact them, recruit, etc. So these are things that a lot of people are like, oh, I didn't realize you needed to do that. I didn't realize you needed to do that. And, and I want them to be ready. I want them to be ready. And I feel this is a great time for small companies to start to support people who are going to be out of a job very soon.
Yes.
Take on, whether it's interns, or people that want to do work experience, or someone that wants to get into a new, change of career. Start opening up more doors. We don't do that enough. And, our support right now, the government is giving support for businesses to taking on people. So again, these are things that people don't know. And as an objective HR consultant, I'm very, I'm not sort of emotionally tied to an organization. So I'll give them the facts. And that's one thing I'm aspiring to be. Long term, I want to start to look into training of people, especially in the service industry.
Yes.
And I want to be able to teach or train organizations or companies to be able to have that good customer service, that high level customer service, which the likes of Sainsbury's and Waitrose and Asda's and luxury retailers have. Just because you're a small business doesn't mean that you can't think big. You can think big, and it's like you're really failing yourself and your community by working in hospitality and retail as long as I have, I know I'm a very hard customer. Like if I go in and I'm not seeing, I'm like, right, I'm walking back out.
Oh, well, you're good, because
Yeah,
normally if I walk out of the store, I'm not giving you any feedback.
I want Black businesses to strive. I want them to thrive. I want them
Thrive.
to
Yeah.
thrive. And the only way we could do that is by giving each other feedback. But, going back to my company, this is something I want to do in the long term. Another aspect that I want to do is career coaching.
I'm
Which
sorry, did you say career coaching?
Yes.
Yeah,
So,
okay.
yes, career coaching. Sorry. So, I want to do that in the long term and help people really fulfilling their potential. We are taught to go to school, get an education, go out and work, earn money. We're not taught equip yourself in education qualifications to be able to go out there in the world of work and progress.
I'm
We
not even sure that that's what we're taught when we go to school anyway, because we go to school and we learn all of these things that the majority of it we're not going to use when we come out of school. So the expectation, you could probably say that the expectation is placed upon us that when we finish school that we're going to get a job and stay in that job, until never every day or until the age of retirement. And it's never the case that the pension you will accumulate during that time you are in that job will be sufficient to sustain you for the time that you are in retirement, provided you are in great health.
That used to be the old mind frame back in the 70s and 80s where it was a job for life. But in the UK now, the average employee length of service is about 3 years. My mum, for example, she's worked for the council for, oh my God, like 20 years. I have never worked for a job. I'll be 15 if I ever did, but I've never planned or plan on working for somewhere for that long. It's definitely a generational perspective. It's definitely a generational idea. But again, it's not really about what we're taught. It's about how we're taught and changing the language. We need to be our language in terms of what we teach people going to school and to go into the world of work is about aspirations, not just need to go out and find a job. It's find a career, not a job, a career. And that's why I want to get into career coaching. It's like understanding, why do you want to get into this position? Is it for just because you need a job, or is it because you have some plans to progress within that field, progress within that organization? And it's like, okay, you best progress in the organization. How are you going to do that? Let's give you the skills. Let's go right back to the source, the basic foundation to give you those skills to progress. Luckily, I had a mum and a dad and people around me who gave me the encouragement and the tips and the goals and that I needed. And then as I progressed in the world of work and I encountered very inspirational people, especially women of, I don't like saying people of color, but most of my bosses were either Asian or Black, and to see these people, these brilliant women, progress and to be where they are, that gave me the inspiration to progress. I want to know how and why, and I've always been hungry to know why and what and where, and just by taking risks. Sometimes I feel that people should, when they're in their 20s, go, take on temporary roles, take on contract roles, find out what you want to do. Then when you know what you want to do, then maybe in your 30s, look for a role of longevity. Look for an organization that can support your development, that is paying you a decent salary, that gives you good work-life balance. Those are things that you need. Like now, I'm very lucky to be where I am. I can work from home, which I've been doing for 6 months, but some of it's driving me crazy now. I've been able to study my master's. They do flexible working, but it's not everything. It's not for everyone. Yeah. And I think that's where career coaches need to come in. You need someone to give you that objective.
Yeah.
So those are loads of things. Those are all the things I'm going to do, and probably many, many more. And it's both. First I'm doing 2 things, which is the CV and LinkedIn and the advice for small businesses.
Okay. That was a lot of information to take in all.
Better than nothing, I'll tell you.
But it was a lot of good information. That was great. All right. So you do at the moment. Let's have a look at the CV and the LinkedIn
Yeah.
service. So with the CV, how does that work? Because most students or most people would already have a CV and they probably think it's great. So why do I need someone to have a look at my CV?
The reason why I'd say for someone to look at your CV, because so everybody is very subjective about their CV. You know, what you might think is great may not be great. You need someone to pull out the full potential. You may be missing information. What are your skills? Are your skills actually on there? Have you highlighted it as good as you could? Have you put a personal statement? Does it make sense? Is it structured? Is it presentable? Is it appropriate? Is the language you're using professional? Again, these are things that you're not born with. And I think by having myself, again, I will rip it apart and I will look at it because I got the HR head on. I'm not recruitment. The difference between myself and a recruitment agency will just look at it in terms of keywords. They run it through an algorithm and they find the buzzwords. The more buzzwords, the better. That's it. They look at it in terms of how many pages, that's it. They don't really work with the person to take time to get presentable because all they're thinking of is I need as many app CVs to send to my client as much as possible. Whereas I take my time. I'll look at it. I will question things. I'll question you by going, what's this? When did that finish? What does that mean? Was that a contract role? Where is it located? And I'll work with my clients to pull that information out. So it's a full representation of someone.
Yeah,
so,
yeah.
I've been doing it for a long time. I started with my friends, said, oh, can I send you my CV so I can have a look at because I'm not sure. And I've turned it around. Since I started doing this, probably beginning of April till now, I've done over about 50 CVs.
Wow,
Yeah.
that's a lot.
And I've still got like 3 coming in the next week. And I tell people I'll do 10 working days because I do not want to rush it. I know there's companies out there that will say 48 hours, but they'll charge you an arm and a leg. I'm not charging people an arm and a leg for something which I could probably do pretty easy. A lot of these people are doing it full time. I'm not. So, and I also understand that there are people that are not working right now. To spend 140 on a CV versus 140 on bills, if I was their position, I know what I would pay.
Yeah.
So understanding, my slogan is putting the human back into HR. There has to be that human element. Understand what's going on with that person. What's their situation? Are they working? Let's try to, negotiate somewhat on the price. May throw in something, might do some coaching in terms of how to use LinkedIn once I've done their LinkedIn profile, how to do interviews, how to do applications. These small little gems I could give away for free because I want them to understand it's not just write on your CV, that's it. So that's why it's important. LinkedIn is very important now. LinkedIn is about networking because yes, sometimes the job is about what you know, but it's also about who you know. And it's also about networking, being flexible in your job hunt, not just waiting, not just finding a job on the job board and applying in the traditional way. It can be about connecting with recruiters, putting on your post that I need a job and connecting with people who might know people that can get you a job. It's also about finding out what's going on in respective industries. There's so much things on LinkedIn. And I think that's a great way of really putting yourself out there if you really want to progress. In terms of school children and graduates, I think they should also learn how to use LinkedIn and what a good CV looks like, because let's face it, in a career advisors don't have time. Career advisors don't even exist anymore. And who do they go to know for CV? Who? They don't. Sometimes they don't know. Sometimes, they get taken advantage of, or, you know, they don't have that person to really push them. But they also need to know the know-how. They need culture capital. What, like, why use LinkedIn? What's good about LinkedIn? They know about every other social media, Facebook, Twitter, TikTok, Snapchat. Know about LinkedIn. Know about LinkedIn, because LinkedIn is what will get you that job. And it's also about making that good impression. So having a good profile, connecting with people, building up your connections, looking at articles, writing stuff, sharing stuff. It builds up your presence. And you get people like, I've got like over 500 plus on my personal one. Some of these people I don't even know. But the good thing I do with that is I share jobs that I come across, you know, whether it's in Dubai or over here. You know, I've had a lot of people, recruiters from Dubai, saying we need hospitality people. I know a few people in the UAE still. I will post it on my personal page and say, apply for this job. Because a lot of people reach out to me and say, hey, I'm looking for another job. Can you help? I don't even know some of these people, but for some weird reason, they know me through someone else. And I'm very pleased about that, because I'm glad that my name and, you know, my reputation globally, that they know me and they are able to support. And I'll support as I can. You know, I just want to make sure that people are safe and secure and they've got money coming in, however small that is. And if I can help anyway, then I will.
All right. So you've mentioned that you used to work in the UAE and now you work here, and you were in HR. Was it in the area of HR that you were working in the UAE as well?
Yes.
Okay. All right. So how different is it? You know, because if someone is considering moving from the UK to go work in the UAE, how different are the regulations, expectations, rules?
I would say in terms of employment regulations, it's very different. If, say, you are a UK national, for example, going to the UAE, you have to go through there's a process. So I'll take my experience, for example. I had to, you know, because of my role, I had to apply for a visa. I couldn't get to the country without an employment visa. Then once I had the employment visa, within 30 days, I had to get a medical, and what else I had to do? Go and get a picture for my Emirates ID, and for them to apply for my residence visa. All your how you live or what visa you're on depends on your job most of the time. The standard, you know, person has a residence visa for about 2 to 3 years.
Okay.
They leave before the 2 to 3 years. That visa gets cancelled, then they go to the new job and they have to go through the whole thing again in terms of medical and things like that. And that can take time. Unfortunately, unlike the UK, where if you find, like right now, if you find yourself out of a job, there is not any security for expats. You know, there isn't. Only the UAE nationals have a security. So there's no, you know, there's no income support, there's no job seeker allowance, there's nothing like that.
I suppose that's probably their way of saying, if you're not working, go back.
Yes and no. And it's more about protecting their own. It's more about protecting their own nationals before protecting any expats, even though the expat community is bigger than the national community. Think about 2 to 1.
Oh, wow. Okay.
So, yeah.
That's quite large.
And a lot of them are, you know, they've got governmental jobs, you know, and so some of the service jobs like retail, hospitality, office jobs tend to be, you know, be done by expats.
Expats, okay.
So again, so they need us, but yet they're like, but you know, if you have a job, oh well, you got to support yourself or go back, you know.
All right.
Also the culture. You have to. There's a massive difference in the culture.
Okay.
Is based on Sharia law, so it's very strict Muslim restrictions. You know, from dressing in public to understanding the principles of Ramadan, because Ramadan over here, you wouldn't know, it comes and goes, we go on. But in the UAE, it's a bit different. Shops close early, food shops tend to, be closed in the day after, and it opens after fast is broken. There's no alcohol, there's no music. You can't drink and eat out in public during the times of Ramadan. Work tends to close earlier, so Muslims and non-Muslims can go home early. All these different things. It's for a whole month. So it was, the first year was a bit like, oh my God, like, what am I doing? Like, am I sure? But then you meet people, you meet other expats, you build up a bit of a community, you know, you get used to it. You just jump on the bandwagon, understand the laws, and you move forward. So my advice to anybody who's going to move to the UAE is do your research first. Research before you go out there.
Okay, well, that's great advice for anyone who is thinking about moving from the UK to go and work anywhere else in the world.
Yes.
Speaking of Barbados, I know the Prime Minister has recently given an invitation to anyone who wants to come and work in Barbados for a year. So if it's worthwhile to do your research to make sure that you are standing on the right legal footing, and also that if you are going to go and work for a year, that your company will not be in a disadvantageous position from you not being in a local area. Okay, so we've talked a lot about a few things. So what does Cyreta do to relax?
When's the last time I relaxed? Ooh.
Yeah, that's the reason why I'm asking. You said you're studying, you're working full time, even though at the moment you're doing it from home, and now you've started a business. So there's someone else out there who is studying, working full time, and thinking about starting a business. But when you relax, what do you do to relax?
Saturday and Sundays is my time. I don't do any work, any studies, any business stuff during the weekend wherever I can. I like to spend time with my loved ones. I like to spend time on my own, just to sleep and eat and rejuvenate and relax. Like last week, I stayed in bed all Saturday and I felt so good and refreshed for Sunday. I read, I watch TV, I like to travel. Well, pre-COVID. I do yoga, I like to cook. I try to spend time with my two lovely cats, one who's like a dog, one who's like a cat. And just downtime. I try not to do anything too excessive during my downtime because, just kind of get my energy right and my aura back into place for then when ready for like a new week.
Okay, well, good. Yeah, that's a wide variety of things that you've got to choose from there.
I know. Sleep being the top one. I love to sleep. Love my sleep.
It's good. It's a good thing to have so many different things that you can fall back on, or well, not necessarily fall back on, but that you can look to when you need to relax. Because if you only had one or two things, then it could become monotonous, isn't it?
Yeah.
And it's nice to have that variety because you'll have something to look forward to. So maybe this weekend you can take the cats out for a walk, and next weekend you can bake a cake, and the weekend after that you just spend in bed. Yeah,
I think the best thing is to always listen to your body. If your body's saying, nah, then fine. There's nothing wrong. I know people think, oh, they have to do this. Sometimes just take a step back, listen to your body. If your body's saying to you to do nothing, then do nothing.
Yeah. And that makes complete sense, especially for small business owners or medium enterprises that are expanding or probably just starting. Sometimes just starting can be an extremely stressful time because, you're unsure about how things are going to go. You're anxious and then, at the first sign of trouble, sometimes you panic. So it can be an extremely stressful time. So it makes sense to listen to your body and do exactly what you need to do without becoming too lax or too relaxed. And then finding yourself in a rut and not moving. If that happens, call me. I'll push you.
And I need that. I did a film, a clip today about procrastination, And it is a monster. It is a big monster that doesn't want to see that procrastination is the biggest monster after self-doubt. And you say, oh, put it up. And I did it all the time. I'm like, oh, I'll do it tomorrow. Tomorrow comes out, oh, I've got to do it now. But I always, every time my brain is always going, I'm like, right, got to do this. And I just do things when I'm ready to. If I'm not mentally in that space, I'm just not going to do it, because I don't want to feel like I'm giving half of myself. I want to give full.
Yeah, 110%.
Yeah, not just 10. What's the point in giving 10% of myself?
Yeah, fair enough. Okay, Cyreta, who exactly would you recommend to reach out to you for the services that you offer? What's the age category? Where are they in
I am an equal opportunist company. You can be 5 or 50, but obviously 5, that's child labor laws we've got to think about. So so I don't discriminate. I've had clients from different industries, sometimes students, sometimes people with a little bit of experience, to people that are well seasoned, like directors. I do not discriminate. I welcome anyone. As I said, individuals and SMEs are all welcome to reach out to me. So yeah, I'm very, welcome with everyone, as long as they're serious about what they want to do.
Serious about what they want to do.
Yes.
Great. So that's the only criteria. You have to be serious about what you want to do. Okay. So it's you've heard it here, folks. This is Cyreta James. She's offering Tee Vee services as well as LinkedIn profile writing. Get in touch with Cyreta if you need either one of those services. And also, if you're looking for someone to perhaps talk to a group of persons who need to have a bit of advice about it, you can get in touch with Cyreta as well. There's lots of things that are happening online at the moment. People are having a lot of focus groups, a lot of seminars, a lot of webinars, and they're all happening online. So if you are looking for someone to speak, get in touch with Cyreta. I'm sure that she can make some time for you to make a presentation at your event. So Cyreta, I want to say thank you so very much for being here today. Before you go, I've just got one last question for you, and it's the curveball question. You've heard of my curveball questions, haven't you?
Go for it.
All right. So my curveball question to you is, you're on the sea, you've lost your oars.
Okay.
You're on the sea, you've lost your oars, but you can hear a boat coming in the distance. And you don't know what's in the boat, but there's stuff in the boat. Where's the first place that you're going to look, and what are you looking for?
Well, it depends how big the boat is. If it's a ship, I have to look right up. I probably won't be able to see. If it's a boat like mine, I will just kind of be like seeing how many people, is there more? Can I push one off? How small are they? Can I just push them off from the sea and take their boat? Yeah, I'll just be like squinting until they get closer and closer and waving my hands like this. Yeah, I'll just be seeing how many people and if I can push them off. I'm being real. Dog eat dog, mate. Dog eat dog.
The answers I get with these things.
Dog eat dog.
Well, I wouldn't want to be on the boat with you, because you'd probably be pushing me off.
Eat or be eaten, It's I've got to get somewhere. I have no oars. I'm in the sea. I've got to get home. I've got things to do. Depending. The sharks will like you. They won't like you.
Brilliant.
And also say that I do provide HR consultancy services to small businesses. So if they want to set up any policies, procedures, or have someone to review their policies and procedures, help them with recruitment, I do that.
Thank you so much, Cyreta, for coming on. It's really been informative listening to you. There's a lot of things that you've shared today that I'm sure a lot of people didn't know about. And you're leaving us in a better position than when we first started to listen to the show. So thank you. Those of you that want to get in touch with Cyreta, Her handles are going to be posted at the end of the show, and they will also be pinned in the comments at the bottom of the show. So thank you, Cyreta.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. It's been an honor. It's my first one, so hopefully I've done really well. But yes, thank you for the opportunity.
And I want to say thank you as well to everyone who has watched Key TV today. I really hope that you've enjoyed this episode. And remember, just stay safe. And until the next episode, this is Karen Reeves, Topping the Accountability Coach. Bye for now.